Miami, Miami, Miami. It feels like Miami.
Welcome. I am not Giancarlo Novice. I'm not Franky. But it's me, man. It's Bam first preseason game. New group, same faces, new faces. I got some of the same faces, some of my favorite faces with me up top. To my left, I don't know how she is to you guys. Tiffany, you with me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
We good?
Yeah. I think my internet. I don't know something's going on. Might be my internet. Might not be. Just
If you come back preseason, working some kinks out.
Yeah.
What's up, Franky? How you doing? How you feeling?
Doing good. Cole Swider is the answer.
Listen, real cold world. Okay.
I got a lot of questions. If that's the answer.
No, Drew ain't.
Oh man, lots to get into. Won't be here too long. Just give me what you guys first thoughts, top of your head. Let's give grades. Quick early return, first game, overall grades.
Go ahead, Franky.
On the whole team or
whole team.
I give them a C.
Okay.
I don't think they changed anything enough. Just mixing up the pieces. I like Jaquez. I like Bryant. Those guys will help for sure. Swider. I think Swider will definitely be ready to help and contribute. Yeah. But I didn't see enough changes with the offense that leads me to believe things are going to be less reliant on shooting. There's nothing schematically that's going to get them to the rim and make stuff easier for them offensively. Defensively, they should be okay depending on the lineups they played. Obviously, without Jimmy and Caleb, you're not going to see a lot of you're missing two of your biggest defensive pieces. But I thought overall it was okay. It was all right. There's some good, some bad.
I like it, Tiff. What you got?
Right. So no Jimmy, no Caleb.
Yep.
I'm literally going to give them an incomplete. Because I definitely agree with Franky. Like, I didn't see enough as far as like new offense that makes me think that a couple of these guys will be able to do a little bit without Jimmy being on the floor.
Yeah.
But there were some surprises. I'll say that. There were some cheers and there were some jeers. It's the first preseason, and it's the first preseason game, right. So you're going to get both of those, right? So that's
I think I'm going to give. I think early return super quick. I wish there were a middle between like a C and a C minus. Like I don't know if it's like
it's like a 74.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're like a 75.
They passed.
They did pass. I agree with you guys. I think again, very first game, didn't really see too different schematically, nothing out of too unordinarily from the things that we do. I think that I do like some of the pieces. I agree that we're still, we've always, in my opinion, been a little frail in certain places. But I agree with, maybe there were some revelations. Maybe we see something, got some stuff out of some guys. So off the bat, I just kind of wanted to start with, I think, two positives that really kind of stood out even in their time. Might not have been the most efficient of positives, but things looked good from 14. And I think Bam, I think he looked pretty good too. So either of you take either of them and tell me what you like from tonight.
I'll go.
Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you want me to take one? I'll take I'll take Tyler.
And then we'll switch too. Go ahead.
I like that he was that the first initial maybe 2 to 3 minutes, that span of offense from him I thought was brilliant. He literally moved his way around the court. He was picking his spots. He was trying to get to the basket, and he got there successfully a couple of times. He was making the defense guard him. And if you know what I mean, like he was actually making the defense work. He
Yeah.
wasn't taking the bad shots. He wasn't doing the leaners. Um, and he was playing within himself.
Mhm.
I thought it was. I literally thought that first 3 minutes he was phenomenal. Now after that is where I
Mhm.
felt like things just fell off. I felt like he kind of, he got happy. So he just started to do a lot of things. And I feel like those lot of things is what got the offense like out of sorts.
Mhm.
He wasn't using his people.
You
He
gotta
wasn't
touch
using his
chaos.
exactly. It was
Does.
chaotic and he wasn't using his players. He was
Yeah.
going 1-on-2, 1-on-3, and which means if you're 1-on-3, you got teammates open. He
Yeah.
didn't he was handling the ball up top, but he wasn't handling the offense.
Mhm.
So it got a
Hold
little
that. Go ahead.
you want me to hold
No,
that
go
thought?
ahead. Finish your thought.
No, I'll hold it right there. I'll pass it to Frankie if you want me
All
to.
right, we're gonna pause Tyler right there. Frankie, what did you like from
Okay.
Bam tonight? And we're gonna come back to Tyler.
I like some of the decisiveness offensively. He came aggressive. He felt the space the defense was giving them. The shots were going up. We were talking when we talked about the big men preview when we got to Bam. It was just about finding ways to get to the rim, whether it's tightening your handle, using your pump fakes. And he had a real nice pump fake, rip through and go and got a dunk off of it. There was another play where he had an opportunity to do the same, but I think he was a little afraid of Mark Williams and settled for the short mid-range jumper, which is okay. He's highly efficient at that shot. You just still like him to be more aggressive there, and hopefully in the regular season he does so. Not on the same page with his guards on the screens. He picked up a couple of cheap fouls. Setting screens, but it's preseason. That's stuff that'll get sorted out. But yeah, offensively, the touch looks good. The shot looks good. He got to the line 6 times in like 16 minutes, which is really encouraging. You hope that carries on, goes off that. But more of the same. Bam is just Bam. He's a great player, and I think he shows that.
Okay, so Frankie, we talk a little bit about and I'm gonna ask both of you guys like a diet question for both of them. Frankie, what do you want to see? Like your personal feelings of like the wanting to see talent be displayed, and then what do you think best suits Miami so far with this, with the roster that we have as far as Tyler's diet goes? I know you're a proponent of him getting to the rim more. I know you're someone who kind of wants to see him. He's a good 3-point shooter. Take it. So give me a little bit of your feelings for his diet, for this team, and for yourself. And then Tiff, same thing. How do you want to see Bam? Where do you want to see Bam kind of operate? Of course, matchup dependent.
Mm-hmm.
Frankie, what are your thoughts on Tyler and kind of his diet for the season?
So to build off of what Tiff says, I feel like some of what Tyler does when he's going and it's all him and there's no inclusion in the offense. That's why his 6th man of the year season was so good, because it was just a 2-man game with the bench. He ran his stuff. It was all him and Dedmon. And it was great. They were very talented at beating up on bench units. And he was very consistent, very solid for them, and very comfortable. The problem is with the starters, you have other high usage guys that need the ball. And if, so I think it was 5 Reasons put out that those 3 had their combined usage was like 75%. And, there's got to be some balance. It's not all on him. I don't want to act like it's all on him. Jimmy and Bam need to do it too. The Spo needs to find a way to help out the offense in that regard. But just the ball movement and the intentionality of the offense, it needs to be a little smoother. It can't just be guy on the ball has to create and nothing else, or it's a DHO and that's what we're going on. Like a little more off-ball stuff. I'd like Tyler Tyler, for his credit, like I've tried to emphasize this a ton, but he's improved as a screener a lot. And he's a willing screener. One of the first
when he commits to it, when he wants to be lax with it, when he's not locked into it, it goes back to being a little sloppy.
Yeah, and it was like one of the very first possessions. he went to screen for Bam to
The
get up.
diagonal up screen.
Yeah. And he
Yeah.
was a lazy screen, and then Kyle
Yes.
still threw it anyways and threw it away. And I was
going to bring that up.
Gotta be sharper there. First play of the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, when he gets a good position, he wants to be, and he's focused on the details. He's a really good screener. And I like the screener actions when they really run that stuff. And I think Duncan are good screeners. They should be running more of that. Let them set a screen, come off an elevator screen, something. It just create motion like that, and then if Jimmy's Holt running the offense, he can. If the defense falls asleep, he can get ahead of steam, something like that. Just more intentionality. It's not all on him, of course, but just Spo's got to figure something out to help the flow of the offense not get stagnant when one of these guys get going.
Tiff, talk to me about Bam. What do you think? What would you like to see from him, and what should Miami want to see from him?
I think it's kind of I would hope it's one and the same. I always talk about, like, I want to see him out on the break, even if it's just the secondary break. I need to see him get some easy baskets, because there are a few nights where it's going to be a mismatch and the person guarding him is going to be bigger. So he's not going to be able to overpower them, and he is going to have to rely heavily on the guards getting the ball to him in just the right position, which means, like, they have to have pinpoint passes to get that to him. He's going to have to rely on that jab step, that 15-foot jump shot, and he's really going to have to rely on his quickness, which we know he's had some knee issues. So he's got to figure out other ways to get the easy baskets. And what I saw tonight, if we get more of a combination of, like, JJJ and other people out there with bigger bodies and Hamish, they're going to help on the boards, as we saw tonight, which means that he's not going to take a beating. And if the bigger bodies are also crashing with him, he's got a better chance of getting the putbacks. Because how often do we see Bam get putbacks? Like, I don't think we see that often. I like to see him play more with his back to the basket in the high post. Maybe run a little offense through him right there and just try something different. And if that means you got to get Jimmy moving off ball, you got to get other people moving off ball if you want the offense to run through Bam. Other than that, at some point, I'm talking into the void. I'd like to see a couple of threes a game. I don't care if he makes them.
I just let him go.
I just want to
Shoot
listen. If he's comfortable pulling up on the fast break, why not?
Yeah, I think so I from both of them tonight, I really liked, a few things. I love that Bam. People have feelings about the mid range, and I know how nuanced it is, and I know where some of the logic and the argument lies for both of them. For me personally, both of them are incredibly kind of key in that middle third of the court, in that mid-range area, especially Tyler. I say this all the time, like the Tyler that can maneuver and be efficient in those pockets. I'm someone who believes maybe you don't win those series, but I'm someone who believes that a Tyler operating in those areas, gives you a thrust in each of the last two playoff series. And tonight, to begin, to your point, Tiff, you saw it, taking what the defense, made the defense guard him, but not forcing in a way that felt unnatural. Great balance on the tips of his feet, able to kind of stop and start in that area where you have to be tight. You have to be able to, keep it close to your body. So that was, I like seeing that from him today. I agree. And this is part of the, people get upset when you talk about Tyler at the point guard, but me personally, you shouldn't want Tyler at the point guard, because stuff tends to stagnate sometimes, and it's not all him, but just naturally you see a guy kind of cooking and you want to give him the space to cook a little bit, but that's not how, Franky, to your point, that starting unit kind of has to function. Six man was perfect for him. Like you said, you're able to just come in as the scorer and just command, kind of that group. But I like things from him tonight. He's a good screener, but I want him to be sturdier. Sometimes they ran that diagonal back screen through him and Drew at one point. Drew is not the guy yet to Drew's not Gabe, and they're both small, but Gabe had a good base. Gabe knew how to brace himself kind of at the base. I like the
Gabe would like to set his legs so wide that
like
if you
I'm
were
Yeah.
getting screened by his chest, you were getting tripped. Like
you might, yeah.
Hope they call it for you.
Absolutely. But like that, hey, that's technique. When you're little, you got to have some technique.
Yeah.
I love Bam kind of going into the shot, and he's gonna have to pick and kind of choose for the betterment of like the team, his game, and kind of his body. It's a lot to like be pounding, going up for reboundings, and having guys just wailing on you, coming, like all of that stuff is a lot. He tweaked the shoulder, tweaked the neck, has the knee, and so if he can be efficient in his mid-range and pick his spots to initiate off the bounce, if they can get him something off the extended post, I think that would be good things for them. But to both of you guys' point, they got to move around. We say this all the time on the other side. So got our two main guys. Kyle was there.
Was he?
He was there. What was her minutes? And I don't even want to do that about him or anyone else on the team. What was Kyle's minutes tonight?
15 minutes.
15 minutes. He gave you the spot up. Just did like steady kind of Kyle things. They need a starting point guard to me. They need a backup point guard. And I don't mean that with any disrespect, any shade. It's just I think they just do.
I think they just need.
Yes, they just need. Go ahead.
Honestly, because here's the problem. Like, Kyle is the perfect backup point guard for this team.
Come on, like, come on.
The problem is, what else is behind Kyle? And that's no shade to Drew, and that's no shade to
RJ not ready. He too thin.
It's not. You know what it is? It's not even that he too thin. We don't have a guard. We don't have a point guard that can just literally say, "Let me just hit this 15-footer real quick."
Yeah.
Like they don't shoot well.
Let me get to and be able to get this 15-footer off.
Do I have a?
Let me do something.
Does Drew or RJ, either one of them, do they have a spot on the floor?
Defense.
No. Yeah.
But that's a problem. They don't have a spot. Like they don't have a spot they can get to that they know we need a basket as a team. Let me get this shot right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
I think so. Franky, you and G, and who was it? Jack? You guys did the bigs episode.
Yeah.
I know we're going to get into our wings. We're going to get to the guards, and there'll be time to really, really kind of dig into what we expect or don't from Tyler and from Kyle, and kind of just the rest of the roster total. I just wanted to touch on him a little bit tonight. 15 minutes, 1 of 2 from 3. Didn't really give you kind of much else to really talk about or feel a way about. Okay, got them out the way. Got the people we know.
Wait,
got the.
Can we get a timeout, Bon?
Go ahead.
I want you to answer this question, even though it's directed at me. I want you to answer it.
Oh man, what's the question?
5190. After everything I just said, that's what Tyler for there, Tiff.
To do what?
So I want you to answer.
I need him to answer to do what? Tyler's there to do what? You come back to us, Sean. Pablo, if Sean come back in the comments, throw that up here. I can't respond to that until I know.
Get the bucket.
What?
I need you to now.
Get the bucket.
Explain to him why we need a. Go ahead.
So you want him to like get his buckets, set up other people's buckets in like efficient ways, make it like it's Tyler's game and the way that he operates in the way that you kind of want him to, but just in a space that fits with the rest of the group. It's so kind of ball dominant, and he's getting better off ball, but like it's just the rest of everyone else's kind of flow. There's not much to it. And he can grow. He can be a playmaker. There's a difference. No, just be the go-to scorer. That's all. But he can't because we don't have a point guard. That's what I'm saying. Like until they establish how they want to play make and who they want to, hub their offense. I agree with you. That's why we should have point guards on the roster so that he can go do that. Them out the way. Kyler, shit. Tyler, Kyle, Bam. Kind of the mainstays. Why don't we need a point guard? We got Drew Smith right here. Okay, Pablo, don't put nobody else on the screen talking like that. And there's no shade to Drew. Drew got good defensive hands. She needs to settle down. New people, Thomas Bryant. How do we feel about Alf tweeted? He said, offensively, Thomas Bryant has been everything as advertised. And defensively, Thomas Bryant has been everything as advertised. I don't really know too much about what she was advertised over the summer. I didn't watch much of her kind of last season. But I do like some of the things that, we got from him today. Good physical rebounder. Like, he has some gruff to him. Did you guys see anything in particular that you did or did not like out of Mr. Bryant tonight? Franky.
Well, he showed the touch. He hit a couple mid-range jumpers. Showed the touch, getting the friendly rolls and stuff. Was physical inside. Got to the free throw line, 7 for 7 from the line. Rebounded well. And was
7 for 7. That's important.
Yeah,
as a big.
He was active. But if you can get 7 for 7 from him and 6 free throws from Bam every night, like you're winning that.
That's found money.
Winning a lot of good games there. But no, he was active. He was energetic. Did what he's supposed to do offensively. So I forgot who pointed it out that his screens need some work. But that's I think you responded to them that's chemistry. That's going to get better as the season.
And that's the same thing you said with Bam earlier too. Like he and his guards, the bigs and the guards have to develop screening chemistry. It don't just happen. Yeah,
the timing and it's preseason, so some people are going 70%, some people are going 90%. So you got to work on that and get on the same.
Like or going 70% and too early. So
exactly. Catching it and going, and their big man still coming up. But defensively, like he's always been so big and strong. It's always just been about being in the right place, being aware and stuff. And I feel like the zone defense is going to help him. We saw a little bit of the zone in spots, and we saw him in drop and stuff. So I'm curious to see how he progresses, because we've seen it plenty where guys look good early, and then as the scouting report gets out there, they get figured out and they can't adjust from there. So he's been a guy who historically has been figured out every season pretty much. But offensively, he's a good player. And if you can get with this team, they need scoring off the bench. Thomas can provide it. When those days Bam needs a night off, you can go Thomas and Lando and Love and Jovic, and you're pretty solid there. So I think he's exactly what they need for right now until they find something better.
Tim, how you feel about Bryant tonight?
I feel the same I always felt about him. Like ain't nothing changed, because he's always been a pretty good offensive player. Yeah. That was never my issue. My issue was the wanting to play defense. He always seemed like he just wasn't really paying attention. So and there never seemed to be the wanting to. Tonight, honestly, is the most effort I've seen him put in defense in a long time.
Yeah, she was pretty active. Like
feet were moved, like
hands were moved, feet were moved. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think also, he's had a few stops, but I think there is something to be said for the team actually went after him and signed him. So
there was something there with all of everything. There's something there that they value.
Right. So I think that it's a good start for him. And let's be realistic. We haven't really had anything behind Bam. So it's like, what are you gonna keep doing?
I thought in his 8 minutes and 0 for 3 shooting, Franky, he's someone that you and I, Tiff, we've talked about too. Just how much Kevin Love we hope to see this season. And again, for only 8 minutes, I thought Kevin moved pretty well. The very first play of the game was a defensive foul because he was at the screen, like he wasn't back in the drop, he wasn't even level. It was like a half hedge, and he just ran into a guy, and he felt a little spry. He looks a little smaller. I don't know, maybe I made that up, but he has Yeah, like a little bit, like just a little slimmer somewhere.
Yeah, he definitely looks.
He's had a full offseason with the team now, and I think that he's going to be good for them in as many spots as he can be on the floor. But I think his presence, I think he's someone whose presence is really invaluable, and that he's so smart. He's a mentor. He's someone that can communicate what winning is about. And positionally, we have some fringe tweeners guys who are somewhere in his, like, what's that, like Russian egg little pop-up thing? The egg contains the egg. So I think Kevin will be good for us in whichever ways he can contribute this season. But from his quick 8 minutes today, he felt, pretty active. I like some of, what we saw out of Thomas. Would like to see more, of course.
I like since there was no Jimmy, it was easier to get the Kevin and Bam high-low game going. Kevin had that still taken
more
away.
space. Jimmy not down there sitting in Bam's lap.
Yeah, and it was both ways too. Kevin spacing from the 3-point line, Bam at the high post. They were feeding each other, so I like that. That's a nice element for those sets of back-to-back to get things going. And Kevin's not afraid to seal a small guy, so hopefully Bam picks up on that.
I'm saying Bam's learning to not be afraid to seal a small guy.
Right.
Be physical.
Yeah. So, do you have anything on Kevin tonight? What'd you have, Franky?
Oh no, I was gonna ask, see if you guys wanted to talk about Highsmith. I felt like he was one of the more impressive.
Oh, we gonna get there. We gonna get there. We gonna get there.
So much for a quick show.
The hedgehog took the deep ones. We gonna wrap up on there. Kevin. How you feel about Kev?
Uncle Kev.
Uncle Kev. All right, he feels like an uncle. He got linen clothes. He got like a nice linen suit somewhere.
He got
in the sandals.
He's got a lot of grays. He's definitely an uncle.
Yeah, silver fox.
No, I agree with Franky. Like, he immediately, when he got the mismatch, he was ready. Like, and that's one thing I do hope that Bam picks up from him. That doesn't matter. Don't matter who got the ball. If you got the mismatch, get your hand up and call for it.
And I'm gonna slide Nikola in there too. We can touch on him a little. Nikola, how many minutes we get? 7 of those minutes. I think he still has some catching up to do just with the speed of the game. Still has some strength and some timing things to work on. Still moves well. And Bam did hunt a mismatch one time, and Nikola, primary playmaker, but also a big, threw it down there real quick. Bam was fouled. He had his back reached over, but the ball was placed really well. And so if they can, I don't know what the lineup is and when you do it, probably in the non-Jimmy minutes, to your point, Franky. But if they can manufacture some consistent, like high-low, 2 bigs actions on the floor, I think that's a different wrinkle than what they've had, in this last 4 or so years.
No, and I want to see Jovic play without Drew so that -9. I don't feel like it's on him.
On him.
But there was one play that really stood out to me that it was JJJ catching it, bringing it up, hitting Jovic in secondary transitions, and he went straight to the cup.
Yep.
Got fouled and knocked out throws.
Yep.
And that's something those two have. We've talked a lot about those two providing that energy, not only with the youth, but wanting to run, being willing to run, and pushing the pace. And I felt like both of them did. In their limited action and spurts, they took those opportunities and ran with it, literally.
Yeah. Tiff, you got anything?
No.
No. You don't got nothing for him?
I agree with Franky. Like, I want to see Slim Nicky as the backup too, as the backup one at this point, because. We done seen all there is to see from everybody else. Now let this boy get a chance to run the show.
Since we just giving out point guard reps.
Right. Since everybody getting a shot, everybody getting a dribble, let him dribble. Right. Let him see what
let him dribble, let him see.
If you can call
in the open court, we saw what he can do in the open court.
Yeah.
So I mean, at this point, I would definitely like to see him out there without Drew or without Josh.
Yeah, if you're going to call Drew a point guard, you can call Jovic and Jaquez point guards too, because they both our skilled passers, and especially Jaquez. If we want to just
And let's get into him. No, let's go right into him.
He was running the offense to end the game, controlling the pace as a rookie, like getting his team involved, moving the ball, the footwork that we've raved about since the draft process. That guy had the best footwork. We saw it in all of the of draft beats coverage. He was nice, man. He smooth, patient, aggressive when he wanted to be. Got into his spots, mid range there. Sneaky, 7 rebounds. Only 2 turnovers, 2 assists. That's okay. But he wasn't dime hunting. He was getting guys in the flow of the offense, and they ran a lot of post up offense with him, getting the ball in the low post, hunting mismatches, and he was getting good looks off of it. I really liked what I saw from him.
Yep. I'm just you talked about those 7 rebounds being sneaky. Tiff, to your point earlier about getting out in transition in the Bam conundrum, like Bam is either at the top switched out on someone and not running when he could be just leaking out, or he really is when he is able to be underneath, or having to come all the way back after contesting or closing out top. Now I have to check. Bam was our only kind of size. Springy, he fighting Tyler off for rebounds. But now with guys like Jaquez and Tyler, Springy, like Tyler's going to go get the boards. If we can get Bam in positions to where he can leak out, because we now have other guys, bigger bodies to get on the boards, I think that plays to what you were talking about earlier. And I definitely think Jaquez is one of those guys.
Man, Jaquez is out there looking like Jimmy.
Listen, what?
That's his favorite player.
Hey, that's his favorite player, and Jim is a great build of guy to be your favorite. Same with PG. Mm-hmm. People were talking about why are these guys out here talking about like PG is maybe not their GOAT, but kind of like an archetype. It's the build, it's the control. Jimmy is definitely that.
Yep.
Oh no, I didn't mean to hijack that from you. I just wanted to like you look like Jimmy Light, certainly.
I'm gonna tell you, it's interesting because no matter if everybody keeps saying how deep this team is, everybody not playing. Like let's stop acting like we're going 12 deep. We ain't going 12 deep. And watching the way that he controlled the pace, how he got to his spots, how he got where he wanted to go on the floor, no matter who was guarding him. He's going to be in the rotation. There is no way you're going to keep that young man out of the rotation. There's no way.
Depending on what's happening for you, he might close some games for you just by size and like poise and control alone.
Yeah, he looked really good. And the funniest thing is that he never looked rushed.
Right.
Young guys, rookies, there's always a point in the game, no matter regular season, preseason, they always looked rushed or hurried.
Yep.
He didn't look either. He looked like it was just another day at the mill.
Mm-hmm. There's something to be said. One, I gush about the body. Franky, you were talking about like the athleticism thing and people posting like the clip of him dunking, like, oh, y'all say he wasn't an athlete. Like that don't. You just dunking the ball, that don't tell me you're an athlete. And that lateral quickness is kind of a concern, but he's smart and he has such good kind of everything else that he knows how to leverage his strengths to kind of hide or mask kind of his shortcomings. Incredible pace with the ball out there, like looking like a seasoned vet on some like Luka controlled pace type stuff, Jimmy controlled pace, and less at you like a Jimmy is, but really like casual, collected. He has his synergy with Bam is you can see it, and it's only going to improve. He came off of a Bam pin down one time, came off left, and it was a pocket pass, but it needed to be placed a little bit behind him so that Bam could kind of run in. So he did, placed it perfectly. And I think stuff like that, just being that big and kind of that capable in the areas of the floor that he is, I think that they're going to get like a lot of kind of good stuff out of him.
For sure. And
he's exciting.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
I was gonna say there was a play that really stood out to me that the defense stepped up, the big stepped up, and they tried to kind of look half trap. And a lot of rookies there get sped up and will force a bad pass. He kept his dribble alive, let the offensive players get in position, made the right skip, ball fake inside to bring the help in, and then skipped it to the weak side, got an open three for Swider. And that's stuff that, obviously he's a 4-year player, so he has a lot of reps and experience.
Just about to touch on that, yep.
Guy, but he's mature enough. Like there's a lot of 4-year players who don't make that read. There's 4-year NBA players who can't make that read. And I'm very encouraged by everything I saw from him.
Cold world, Tiff. How is it a cold world? Is it a real cold world? Is it cooling off? What did we see from Mr. Swider? Swider? No L. Swider.
No, that's just cold to me.
It's just cold.
That's
one big lump of just a lump. I'm gonna call them lump.
That's it. I was telling you this before. More impressive than his shooting is the way that he gets to spots on the floor.
He's a mover with that size. He's a fluid
the way
mover.
And he's broad.
He's sturdy. He's not like Nikola thin. He's like good.
Like he's got a little girt to him, and so the way that he like moves on the court and the way that he moves off of other bodies, but he doesn't. But he remains stable, if you know what I mean. Like he's moving into people, but his frame isn't wavering.
Yep.
And that's important for a shooter. And like he got to every spot he wanted to go to. He airballed and came back and hit another one. Like those are the things that you want to see. Yeah. Like he didn't look nervous. He looked like he's supposed to be here.
Yeah.
So that's important because we're not gonna act like how they were shooting from 3 for the first 3 quarters.
Yeah.
Like
6'9", 220.
Yeah.
And he has such a high release too that it really
helps. That's it, Franky.
Completely unbothered. He keeps it high. He doesn't have much of
Yep.
So he's so big that it's hard to really contest him, and he does a great job getting himself open, moving without the ball, letting the defense fall asleep on him on the weak side corner so he could slide up to the wing and get that easy pocket pass. I'm like, bro, this guy's hit 4 already this quarter, and he's gonna get a 5th. He's still got open for the 5th one for the game winner. Just Rob Pelinka Jr. is really consistent.
I'm weak. Oh man, him and Jaquez, they move really well around one another. And Tiffany, you're super right. And like he doesn't kind of waver with contact, but he also, the two of them have like really great kind of spatial awareness. Like if they had their own kind of cloud around each of them, they move like they orbit well around one another, and that's good for a guard and a big. Like that's good 2-man game pick and pop kind of table setting there. He was in the high left corner one time and gave a fake, and the escape dribble left, but the dribble that like you have to cross your feet to get into, and he got into it. Well, he missed the shot, but the awareness and just kind of the natural instinct to get into that particular move with that frame as a shooter, he has some motion shooteringness to him. I'm really excited to see what they do with him, because he's not going to be on ball, so he's not going to get in the way, so he's not going to clog your paint by any stretch. He's a shooter. He's going to stretch it out, but in a fluid feeling kind of way. Went to Syracuse, school out it for their zone. So whenever they do get into the depths of the season and he has to be in his zone, he's going to know how to comport himself. I think he's a really nice find, and so I'm excited to see what he looks like. I like the fight in them as a group. Like preseason, you want to win every game. They were down, came back, made shots, like nutted up, had some, resistance about themselves. I think tonight was cool. Tonight was fun. Y'all told me that Jay Rich was just given too much responsibilities to begin. And so I need someone to get some point guards in here because it's feeling a bit like I don't like the point guard by committee thing. I kind of never have.
No.
And if it's going to be a
No, I don't
committee,
like
it can't be a committee. It has to be like a small panel.
Everybody's signing on to be point guard. That's the
Yeah,
committee.
no, like
They
it's
passed the
no.
paper around. It said
You want to do
point
it?
guard.
Yeah, I do it.
It only said point guard on it. Everybody put their name on it. This
No.
is the struggle because not for nothing, and I keep saying it. You got to have somebody who can run the offense when it gets crunch time.
Hey, honestly,
can't be a
move Ami to the
free-for-all.
point right now. Move Ami to the point right now. The composure, off the roll, the body, give me point forward immediately. But no, you're right.
Because and Franky, I know it's your boy, but Jay Rich was still making some of those same mistakes. That he always
he's
makes.
not a point guard. What do we say?
But that's the problem. Like, we keep trying to put him in this envelope and he doesn't fit.
Yeah,
he needs
was
to be out on the wing, running on the break,
Yes.
getting dunks.
He should be great in transition.
Right. Wide
he
open.
made plays. He forced turnovers, made plays.
Right.
Yep.
And that's when that's when he was at his best.
Yeah. Not trying to tell me 5 and putting up 2 fingers. No, like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he signed up to get to be next to the point guard that they couldn't get in the offseason. And Tyler's not a point guard either. So this point guard by committee thing, I still don't understand like the backup plan, but it is what it is. I feel like the 4 is an easier spot to have a committee, which they're also doing
by committee.
But how you're in year 5 of the Jimmy build and you have two starting spots you're trying to solve by committee. Like I think we need to figure that out and sooner than later because I think I think the depth is nice and it helps you survive nights where like Jimmy, Caleb, Bam need a night off, Kyle needs a night off, Kyle needs a night off. But when it comes to crunch time, you're gonna cut that depth and you're gonna play 8-9 guys and your committee is 8 guys right there. So what are you gonna do?
That's 8 point guards.
It's like that first PTA meeting where all the parents sign up to do something, and then you're like, "Hey, who's actually gonna do the project? Nobody's doing it. Nobody's going on the field trip."
Franky, I didn't even go.
I'm weak. You signed up to bring the sandwiches for the field trip. It was no sandwiches.
I didn't sign up.
Tiffany said she was Kyle. Wow.
We're gonna where are we at? 44. We got who is this on Friday? San Antonio in that show in Wemby.
Wemby versus Bam.
Let's go.
Man, Bambi versus. I was watching. I watched some of the San Antonio. I'm weak. He's not gonna fit in the clutch.
Fold his ass up
like a compact. We're gonna close it off with Hamish, but before we get to your guy Tiff, he looked good. Any super early return, super worries about Duncan? Got some looks off tonight, got some great looks. Well, I think it was over 7. And got him in the motiony type of ways that they, used to get him involved. It wasn't the standstill catch and shoot, which I saw last preseason, like, oh, this don't feel right. He was a bit more involved. And, shooters shoot, touch early, all of that. Any worries or not worries, but do you feel any reason to be worried?
I mean, we saw it all the last few years. When you don't play Duncan with Bam, he struggles a lot more. He's not a catch and shoot guy. At first, you need to get him going with some DHOs, get him to touch the ball. His first touch can't be a pull up or a shot right there. He likes to get going in other ways. Likes to feel it. Gets that first DHO. There's no shot there. Gives it back. Comes back again. Now Now he's felt the leather. He's felt the laces a little bit. He's ready to go. Spo's on year 5 of trying Duncan and Tyler together, which has never really worked. It's not
still ain't working.
Fault. It just both sides. It doesn't make sense.
The one time that both of them finally took off was when Spo separated them two.
Yeah.
Duncan had that season. Tyler was 6-man.
Yeah, give them a restraining order, like please. But I'm not concerned. His misses were like online, even still. So it's just sometimes that's your night. But he got good looks, got open, and he's still too important. I was honestly surprised he got in the game that early, with how Spo had him in fucking doghouse last year.
Just trying to be nice to him, welcome him back, fresh year, clean
Welcome.
slate.
Welcome.
Well, hey, come on. Any reason to be worried, Tiff?
If he's still shooting like this by game 5, regular season, be worried.
I agree. I feel that.
Be worried because, like I said, we can't act like we didn't see how they were shooting threes the first 3 quarters.
Yeah.
So if he's not hitting by game 5, be worried because if he's not hitting by game 5, game 6, Spo's gonna have him in the doghouse.
Yeah. And you don't even need like highly combustible, record-breaking shooting season Duncan. I don't need the incredible peaks with the really down valleys. If you can give me some steady hills, some steady rolling hills, I think that does well for the team. Take the ball and run with it.
Tell Sandwich this is Duncan getting grace. Every player he said Duncan earned grace with how well he played in the playoffs. This is the new season.
Yeah, nobody's calling for him to be benched right now.
Exactly. The question was, are you worried?
Yeah. Is there any reason to be worried?
Right.
He's fine. He got time. We all right.
Yeah.
We just know that we don't want to see this movie again.
Yeah. No, I feel you. Tiff, take it and run with it. What'd you like from your boy?
Hamish?
Hamish.
Let me just say something. My man came out and hit his first 3 from deep.
Silky, easy.
Bottoms. Had another long deep 3. Had a nice move at the basket. I'm just saying, it's coming together.
Yes.
It's coming together. It's going to round into form. Tonight he looked a little distracted, but we already know the high levels he can play on defense. Like, I'm not worried about his defense when the regular season starts whatsoever. My biggest concern was, can he please hit those threes when they need him to? And
if he can. Yeah.
And if he can, there are minutes to be had. So that's all I'm saying. Somebody's favorite ain't gonna be getting minutes if my guy Hamish is gonna hit those threes.
Ho.
Because they don't call him two-way Hamish for nothing.
Okay.
The locksmith.
Talking about he goes by the locksmith. Does he go by, or did
we go by?
Did we make that up? Franky, what you like? Great size. He is a great chest, shoulder. Like, he has really he is wide, but
uses
wide. Uses it in his control. Like, he doesn't play off balance, doesn't play lopsided or anything like that. How do you feel about Hamish? Whose minutes can Hamish be sneaking into? I feel like he should be if he's not your starting 4, he should be your first 4 off the bench.
I'm with you, 100% with you there. I feel like when he was in high school and stuff, and his coach did the hands in the jersey drill, nobody can stop him. Like, they were like, look at Haywood, look at Hamish.
It's bad.
This is how you do it. This is how you do it.
Moving feet.
He uses his chest to keep the guy he's guarding in front of him. Uses his length to disrupt the passes, the shots, everything. 3 steals, 1 block, 1 foul. That's great from him. Tiff mentioned the shots. He went 3 for 3, 8 points. What I was impressed by was how quick and smooth that shot looked too.
Yeah.
Like, it was so fast. He's been working on that.
It's effortless.
Yeah, I love him
Yeah.
in the game. He's 100% in the rotation. I would be more upset if he's out of the rotation than any of the other bench guys, including Jaquez, and I love Jaquez, but Highsmith, with what he brings at the 4, with the spacing, the defense is elite. And you need that. You're not. I don't expect this team to be a top 10 offense, but this team needs to be a top 10 defense, and Highsmith is going to be a big reason they will be.
I agree wholeheartedly. I think the committee of the 4 is okay. We got some stuff that we still need rounding out at the 1 in the playmaker spot. We have, like I said, San Antonio on Friday. I'm looking forward to that. See what matchups we get then.
Let me just do a shout out real quick. A shout out to I'm looking at it in the chat. Obama. Is that Obama? Is that
Obama the Hedgehog?
Okay, thank you for the sub, Obama.
Oh, appreciate you, Obama. I'm not in the chat. Thank you, Tiff girl.
I got you.
But yeah, man. Season's up and running. Second game on the way.
We also missed, sorry, Bon. We also missed Leche's agenda commissioner.
Call him out.
Subbing out.
Oh my
Who
God.
else we missed?
I'm trying to find anybody else. I think that was it. But Leches has been subscribed for 20 months. Sub that tier 1. Shout out to you, Leches. You're always in the chat, always showing us love. He was so happy he found a new Leches to replace.
Yeah, I was about to say we got you a new one. I'm excited about this group. However it shakes out in the end. Enjoy the journey, enjoy the process. Watch these guys get better. Watch it come together. That's like basketball is fun. You gotta give shit a chance to gel, guys. Just don't be too high on the win. Don't be too high on the loss. Too down on the loss. I think we'll be all right. Preseason, we're straight. Thank y'all for joining
Not
us.
that flag behind Franky though.
You and the audience. What's wrong with the flag behind Franky?
You said we straight. I said not that flag behind Franky.
Correct.
That's what you're supposed to
not Tiff's hat either.
I missed it. I'm sorry. Preseason. Let me warm up. Tiff, love you. Franky, I love you. Audience, we'll see you later. Catch us on the line. Y'all know where we be.
Peace.